Welcome back, my friends. In today's video, smoked lamb ribs in the Traeger Pellet Smoker. Today's video is sponsored by the barbecue store and Traeger Australia. Let's get going. All right, so lamb ribs, first thing is the prep, okay? So I've got a couple here that I've already prepped, and I've got one here on the board, which I'm gonna show you how to do. A fair bit of fat on lamb ribs, okay? So you're either two different schools. You love fat, you love the flavor, it's delicious. You don't like lamb fat, it's too rich, it's just over the top, okay? I'm in the latter. I think it's too rich, it's over the top. I generally am quite aggressive when I trim, but you do you. I've got a couple here. I haven't absolutely skinned them totally, but I'll show you what to do. All right, so you got a bit of a skin on the top, definitely take it off. All right, so first step, regardless if you love the fat or not, just trim back this skin. So just get in underneath this top layer and just try and separate it from the rack. And once we've got a little bit of leverage, we're gonna see if we can just rip it off with our hands. So just get your knife underneath and then just hold it down, okay? And with the other hand, grip, okay, and pull. I would say that is a prerequisite to remove when you're doing lamb ribs. Now underneath you can see you've got sections. You've got fat, you've got meat, and then you've got another layer of fat with a little bit of silver skin. Here's the choose your own adventure part. How aggressive do you want to be? So for me, I'm pretty aggressive. So I'll take off this middle meat layer because it still has all that fat underneath, okay? And if I don't take this off, I want to get bark. I want seasoning onto my meat, not onto my fat, and I want it to render. So again, hold and pull. And then just when you get down to here, so I don't want to rip all the meat off, okay? So just get in your knife and just gently pull it away so you don't rip all the meat off in the sections where it is meat. A little bit of cartilage, sometimes you'll get that on the rack, so feel for it and remove it. Again, these are pieces that will not render. You don't want to eat that, okay? Get rid of it. So here, we're gonna score the rack, okay? So just score, and I don't mind about going, like, it's not about going deep or not, but I don't mind opening up a little bit because we're gonna get seasoning into those crevices anyway. We want the fat to render, okay? And we wanna build flavor. So by doing this, we're gonna get seasoning into our marks, and that's gonna give us a bit more flavor on our racks. There is one more part to trim, and there is a small membrane on the back of our lamb ribs, like any other rack of ribs. And again, it's very thin. You can either score it or you can remove it. To remove the membrane on the back of the rack, just grab a little bit of paper towel for grippage and get in between one of these bones and start tugging at this top membrane. And then you'll start getting some leverage, okay? And see that little separation there? Once we've got a little bit of leverage, get your fingers in there to hold the rack down while you pull up. That's what you want to take off. If you don't want to take that off, fine. Just score it with a knife. You'll be okay. So I'm just going to come back, just clean up a little bit more. That's good. Seasoning time. So a bit of history here with the homegrown from Rum and Q. I did take out first place lamb this year, Sydney Meatstock, using this rub exclusively on a rack of lamb and a lamb shoulder. So we're going to go down with this today on our lamb ribs. I love this. It is sensational. Really elevates your lamb without overpowering. It's amazing. So get in there with a generous amount of coating, pat it in, okay, and then we flip them over, work on the face side. Lamb seasoned. All right, ready for the smoker. Not quite yet. Let's get our smoker set up and then we'll come back to these lamb ribs. Hopefully the seasoning would have sweated out a little bit and we'll be ready to go. So we're cooking today on the Traeger. This is the Pro 575. This is the second series up from the bottom. So the entry level is a Pro 22. This is the next one up, the 575. It gives you connectivity to the Wi-Fi. So you've got the Traeger app where you can measure, monitor, and work on your cooks, okay, remotely. So let's fire this thing up. So we're gonna do 150C, press a button, lock it in, and hit ignite. So our Traeger is now at temp, 150 Celsius. It took about 10 minutes to get there, okay? So super quick on the startup. Let's go. Lid open, lamb racks, bone side down, meat side up. Close the lid. One of the best pairings in terms of condiments that goes amazingly well with lamb, chimichurri. Now, obviously, you know, there's heaps of recipes. It's a straightforward recipe. They're easy to make, your homemade versions. This is better than homemade. TKC Chimichurri is what we're going down with. Very easy. I'll show you guys very quickly how this is done. Fresh parsley. So we want about 1/4 cup, okay? Chop it as finely as you can. Just about 1/4 cup. We'll run our knife through it again. Just once. You don't want to bruise the parsley. Then we go with our TKC Chimichurri mix. We want about 1/4 cup here. To add to that, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar for the acidity. And then we finish with about 1/2 cup of some gorgeous, good quality olive oil. Give it a mix. And there you have it. We're gonna let this sit for at least 20 minutes. Room temperature is good. Don't put it in the fridge because the olive oil will sort of harden up. Just keep it out and let it infuse its flavor. And once our lamb ribs are done, this and that, wow. Our ribs have been in the Traeger for about 50, 55 minutes. We're coming up to that hour mark. We're coming up to the time to wrap. So let's get the wrap ready. Butter makes everything better, okay? So butter on the base, always. And then we're gonna reinforce the flavors of our rub from our homegrown, from Rum&Q, just in on top. And we're also gonna add in some of our Chimichurri Dry mix, just to lift that flavor to its maximum potential. A little bit of stock. I'm using beef stock here, so we're gonna trick the lamb into thinking it's beef. All right, let's get these lamb ribs into the pan. Wow. Okay, so gorgeous pullback on the bones, giving us an indication that we're getting the doneness that we require. All right, so super bendy on the rack. I mean, look at the juices flowing. So the fat has been rendering, nice moisture. Absolutely delicious. Smells amazing. We've got our wrap stuff here. I'm going meat side down, okay, into the wrap. Definitely probably best to use 2 of these pans, but this will still get us our desired effect. So we're wrapping for maximum tenderness, okay? Now we're only gonna have these wrapped for about 25, 30 minutes because I know they're pretty much done anyway, okay? So really short cook on lamb ribs. Let's get some foil on top of these, get them back in the Traeger. So we've got our racks wrapped back in the Traeger, about 25, 30 minutes. We'll see you back then. All right, so our lamb ribs have been covered for about half an hour. They should be tender. Let's have a look. Ugh. So you can see the difference now. I mean, that bone's just, let's just pull that right out. Massive pullback on the bones. Juicy. Tender. All right, let's get these out. I'm just gonna take our chimichurri. Time to slice, our favorite time. So let's get our slicer on the board. We'll start with this rack here, face down, just so you can see the bones, so you get nice clean cuts, okay, in between. Thanks again to Traeger and the Barbecue Store for sponsoring this video. If you've liked anything in today's video, do us a massive favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell notification so you don't miss our next video. Now let's taste these lamb ribs. Don't forget, you've got all this braising liquid with the butter, the seasonings, etc. Get your lamb ribs and give them a little dip and a dunk. Now this, my friend, is what we're talking about. Wow, that flavor is actually incredible. Really easy cook, really delicious. Give it a try.